Wow. I mean, what a game from the Spurs and the Nuggets. I was hyped for this game, and I was kind of disappointed that it was at 2 o'clock. This game had so much hype around it. Playoff positioning, win streaks on the line, two of the top teams in the West going at it. First time Wemby and Joker playing this year, and it exceeded my expectations. I was a Spurs fan. I was obviously a little disappointed, and I'll get into things I think we could have done better, what it means for us going forward. But I mean, what a game! So I'm gonna talk first off as an NBA fan, what I thought about this game. It felt like a playoff game from the get go. The crowd was there. They were hyped from the get go. It was a very animated game. So in the first quarter, the Spurs got into foul trouble early. Wemby with two fouls, and then Stephon Castle had two fouls early in the first quarter. Jump to the second quarter, the Nuggets started fouling a lot. There's some bad calls, maybe more towards the Nuggets, some towards the Spurs too. And Nuggets ended up getting a technical. Two-player, I think the coach and Aaron Gordon got a technical. The crowd was getting into it. They were letting the refs know about it. And it felt like a very, I could feel it for the refs. Like, they just wanted to get to the half to, just take a breath and, let things settle down. And in the second half, it did settle down. There were still some calls questionable for both teams. I felt like it was even, though, for the most part. The crowd was still got into it, but not nearly as much. So the atmosphere, it definitely felt like a playoff atmosphere. We're getting closer to the end of the season. Both of these teams know that they very well could be playing each other in the playoffs also. And so it was a great atmosphere. It was a great game. This is what I was hoping, and I think a lot of NBA fans are hoping for the Thunder and Lakers the other day, which ended up not being the case. But this was a great game. Joker versus Wemby. Again, as an NBA fan, I loved it. They were going at each other. Joker ended up getting the better of him, obviously. I mean, they ended up winning the game. Had some clutch shots. Wemby had a great game too, though. Individually, he probably had a better statistical game than Joker, but I think Joker made the right plays at the end to win, and because he's been here before, done that, and he proves why he's still one of the best players in the world easily. Now, from my Spurs perspective, obviously I enjoyed this game. There were a lot of things that I liked in this game. Down the stretch, we did struggle, and I don't want to necessarily say it was our youth that was the problem. I mean, we just had some really bad plays. Fox, especially, we know he used to be Clutch Player of the Year. He's been in these situations before. He had some bad plays. He had an overall bad game, honestly. I felt like missed some good shots. Even though it won't show in the stat line, he shot almost 50% for the game. But there were some shots where he would get to a spot and he had a good look and just wasn't hitting them. He had an air ball on 2 threes, I think. He had a bad game. And down the stretch, more in overtime, I felt like at the end of regulation, Wemby fading the way, almost made the game-winning shot. He could do better to realize that he's almost, behind the backboard when he's taking that shot. Maybe if you didn't take that extra step, he could have faded away and made it a much easier shot. Maybe he wins the game. But overall, I wasn't mad at it. The thing that really annoyed me, or is annoying down the stretch, some defensive miscommunications, and the Nuggets did not miss in overtime. They struggled early in the first half, but they did not struggle in the second half, and especially in overtime. There were some, like I said, defensive mistakes. Wemby and Champagnie going on Joker, leaving Aaron Gordon wide open for a dunk in the clutch. Some switches that didn't make sense. And there were two fast breaks which really hurt because they were huge. There was one that maybe a lot of people will forget about. It was maybe a minute or two left in overtime. Stephon Castle was on the break. He kind of dribbled into the paint, almost 2 or 3 defenders in there. Wemby's coming behind him, and if Castle could just control himself, get it up to Wemby, or just even a simple pass, Wemby has an easy dunk. I think Castle noticed it, and he was trying, but he was also being a little aggressive, got out of control, and then just lost the ball. That one really hurt. And then I believe this was with less than a minute to go. The Nuggets had an opportunity for a 2-for-1. They were already up by 2, I believe. And we get a steal. I believe it was Fox or Castle. Fox is on the break. He has Vassell, throws it up for a lob. I'd have to watch it again, but watching it real time in the one replay it showed, it looked like Vassell just mishandled it. It felt like it was a decent enough lob. Doesn't get the dunk. Fox ends up with it, and he has a, like I said, a shot that he makes over and over again, and he just missed it. Then Nuggets go down, they score, and now we only have like 10 seconds left, and we're down by 4, and that was the game. These things, I don't want to necessarily say they're like youth mistakes. Maybe I can attribute it to that, but I feel like down the stretch, the Nuggets just seem more prepared. They hit the bigger shots, and hopefully, as a Spurs fan, this maybe kind of sharpens us a little bit, right? Because we've had an 11-game winning streak going into this game. Not many close games in the past couple of games. Now it's playoff time. We know we don't have experience. We know that's going to be a narrative. But we also know that's not an excuse as a Spurs fan. We know that, it would be very disappointing to go out in round 1. I felt like this game, the atmosphere against that level of opponent, Wemby first time playing Joker, it really, showed us that, okay, it's serious. Like, you need to be focused all the way through for 48 minutes and of overtime in a game. And maybe if we had ended up winning this game, it wouldn't have clicked with us as much. Maybe that's the blessing in disguise that this was a loss. We will see the Nuggets again for the last game of the season. The thing about that, I'm not too sure it will be like a big hyped up game, right? Because the Spurs are going to be, especially with this loss, it looks like the 2nd seed. They would have to go undefeated, and I think the Thunder could only win one more game in their last 4 or 5. And then the Spurs would get the 1st seed, but I don't see that happening. So Spurs are comfortably in 2nd. The Nuggets could possibly be playing for the 3rd seed now that the Lakers are missing Reeves and Doncic for the rest of the regular season. So maybe they're playing for something, but I would imagine, I'm just guessing, if the Spurs have a position locked up, if everyone's hit their 65-game mark, maybe the starters would play a little bit, and then just to, get in the flow of things, and then they would rest. Maybe, maybe not. So we'll see about that matchup. And especially with the standings, if the Nuggets do end up on the 3rd seed, right, if they catch the Lakers, which I think the Lakers own the tiebreaker, but if the Nuggets catch the Lakers for the 3rd seed, they still have to play the Thunder. They would be the 3 seed going against the 6th seed, and the winner of that would go against the winner of the 2 and the 7, which would be presumably the Spurs or the 7th seed. So could be foreshadowing of what we could see in the playoffs. As a Spurs fan, I really would not want to see the Nuggets in the 2nd round. But it's a tough West, and who do you want to see in the 2nd round? Do you want to see the Timberwolves? Do you want to see the Lakers if they're healthy? Do you want to see the Rockets? Not really. So, it's going to be tough, but I think this is a good learning experience for the Spurs. We'll see how it all plays out for the regular season. If the Nuggets can get the 3rd seed, if the Spurs, can, maybe refocus up, get ready for the playoffs. But great game. It was an absolute pleasure as an NBA fan and as a Spurs fan to watch Joker and Wemby, the 2 best big men in the league, go at it. And yeah, great game overall. Let me know down below if you watched this game. Let me know your thoughts on it. If you're a Spurs fan, let me know what you thought about it. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.